good does it feel to say it? MotoGP is back. Faster, forward feel as we fire into a glorious new era. Unfortunately, we kick off the new campaign minus the number one, the star performer in 2024. We wish him a recovery and a quick rehab.
What happened to Martin? I mean, I'm going on and on about the super horrible situation he's kind of found himself in.
Multiple fractures in his left wrist and left hand.
It's a little unfortunate when it comes to switching bikes, you know. That guy using the driver's seat and he got moved over a little bit, you know. It's kind of rough. He's speed too.
Raring to go, pumped and fired up for the season opener here at the Chang International Circuit. This weekend feels like it's been the perfect way to kick off the new campaign. We had a bit of drama, a bit of controversy, penalties and incredible lap times yesterday. Marc Marquez, as we mentioned though, perfect start to life as a factory Ducati rider. All Ducati front row yet again. How many times have we said that over the past few years? Well, I don't think many people had it on their pre-Buriram bingo cards.
And the weather
Jack Miller, the Australian, qualifying as the top Yamaha. Miller, fourth fastest.
Yeah, look at Miller's found his speed. It's good.
A new era as Yamaha's independent team. And what about this? Certainly one of the big headlines of the weekend
pretty bike
so
on
far.
Yamaha, or they're pretty company, should I say, on Yamaha.
And some
make it look nice.
On the beautifully liveried Trackhouse Golf MotoGP Aprilia.
And the Trackhouse bikes are nice too.
Place on the grid.
It'd been pretty wild to see Roberts on one of those now.
So far from the reigning Moto2 world champion. So, we're all set to go here in the commentary box.
I got a good buddy of mine that looks like Morbidelli. It's pretty funny.
9 months of adrenaline-fueled drama coming your way. Matt Burton Lewis to be joining you in comms.
You got to think about Fermin Guerra getting a new Ducati. So that's a new word, Ducati.
Pit lane. Hottest conditions of the weekend so far, no doubt. These are live pictures from Buriram. And as we mentioned, what a start it has been. To life in red for Marc Marquez. 128.782 this morning.
Marquez is ready. Marquez is prime. All my money has been on Marquez for 2025. All the ingredients are adding up properly. So I expect his performance to be kind of through the roof almost. I mean, I'm sure the amount of concentration that he's looking to put in everything that he does is going to be sky high. So I'm sure he's looking to maximize the most amount of time he can get on the machine to accurately be able to dig out all the performance out of it.
That first pole position of the campaign, we can't overemphasize just how much of a massive favourite he is to take the first 12 points of the season.
Yeah, 12 points up for grabs over 13 laps of this Buriram circuit, and you feel like the first of them is going to be
quick 13 laps.
21 riders looking to stop Marc Marquez from winning this sprint. He goes from pole position. Marc Marquez has not led the MotoGP World Championship since the final round of that record-breaking 2019 season.
2019 was crazy.
The day when that all changes. You feel it will take some heroic
2019 had
Marquez, the younger, and of course
Marquez employed bully tactics in 2019. It was actually kind of impressive to see in a couple different ways. You know, he can be cool, and then when he wants to impose his will, it's a whole thing.
93 pitched against 73, pitched against 63 on the front row of the grid. Already, this is that special feeling that you don't really get any other part of the season. Marc Marquez coming into his 18th World Championship campaign on Thursday, telling all the media, despite all of his vast experience, this is his 268th Grand Prix start. Even a rider who's enjoyed so much success, so much experience, even Marc admitted.
The TV and media miss
Thailand, and there was a few jitters,
that there's a period of time in which your mind and your body meet,
wherever he goes, he gets
and the experience that comes along with those things, when it all adds up, it makes for a rider that is probably at his peak potential. And I feel like sometimes that's maybe around your 30s, actually maybe not in your 20s. It's like in your 20s, you may have a hold of everything physically, but even when you think that you're missing a component, a lot of times you're missing experience. It only comes with time, so it's like it's a little rough. That's why I think you see a lot of 30-year-olds beating up on 20 to 25-year-olds.
It was already exciting at the start of qualifying to know that all five
strangely, that's
strongly represented in Q2.
You're getting old talk
age, performances we were expecting from the Marquez brothers in particular on that second row, no question. Jack Miller, who came through Q1 with Pecco Bagnaia, quite literally, they were following each other, or certainly Jack was following Pecco through
all
Q1.
the liveries on the bike are really nice. The bikes are pretty bikes this year.
The second row of the grid. Agora to be on the middle of that second row for Trackhouse on board that Aprilia. To put that into context, just what a good job he did.
Yeah, Agora is
from a rookie on debut.
He looks like he's gotten he's picked up a bit. He was smooth before, but when I mean on the Trackhouse bike, he's smooth. He's real smooth.
Achieving that kind of performance.
It'll be pretty cool to see what happens to him. I mean, him taking Taka's spot already is pretty incredible.
He won the Moto 2 World Championship.
He's doing a really good job.
Last October. GoldenEye, of course, was the brilliant hashtag from our social media team. Well, he's been golden as well so far on MotoGP debut here. Pecco Bagnaia, you feel, has it all on. Well, to be fair, everybody on the grid has it all on to try and find a way to beat Marc Marquez. Let's make no bones about this. He has been the standout rider in terms of race pace.
Bagnaia, my guy. This is smooth.
This weekend, Alex Marquez spoke to the media here in Thailand last night.
He's looked pretty uncomfortable, though. I mean,
pace that's on a different planet right now, a different level. Like he's not. Felt like after Friday,
he doesn't feel like he looks super comfortable. Something bothering him a little bit. Not quite sure what it is. But with that being said, I mean, I would assume that Marquez may be having the same problem, but maybe he can override around it because he doesn't seem to be. It seems like he seems to be settling into the Ducati when Bagnaia seems to be becoming a little more, unsettled on it.
That beautiful Gulf livery here this weekend. He said yesterday, trying to keep himself cool with a nice bottle of water. It is baking hot here in Buram. He said when they unveiled that nice Gulf livery yesterday morning here in Thailand, he was very, very nervous, not sure what to expect from his first Grand Prix. Well, he has delivered.
It's a lot of people.
Just a sensational.
The Thai GP always looks like it has a super diverse crowd. It looks like it's a lot of people, a lot of children. It looks like a lot of, the crowd is just mixed.
12 years, Katsuyuki Nakasuga in Valencia. I'll tell you what though, the odds on that.
I think the purple and the blue
record are being slashed by the minute.
No question about
nice
that.
Suit on the Primac Yamaha.
Look there in the box. I'm sure underneath the chest he is nervous, as we see once again the Jack Miller fans. They were offering Jack Miller the pizza swap for a pair of gloves this morning. Clearly, that offer hasn't been taken up yet by Jack Miller, who I'm sure is watching this in the Pramac box.
Save us a slice, please. That looks very, very tasty. Your Jack's mouth. Well, Jack's lips are licking, aren't they? There as well. I love those T-shirts. I love MotoGP. Well, don't we all? We have been waiting for Marcus the second, Marcus the first, of course, for the sprint as well. There's the Aussie fans. Fair play. They've kept some air in that inflatable kangaroo, haven't they, throughout the weekend. Jack Miller, 4th place. Didn't get as high as that at all in his final KTM season. Best qualifying for Jack since the Valencia Grand Prix in 2023, which he did briefly lead before crashing out. Both Trackhouse Aprilias inside the top 8, as we mentioned, led by Agura. Raul Fernandez goes from 8th place on
I'm
the
super
grid.
excited to see when he finally gets comfortable too. I mean, at this point, I would have thought he would have, but I'm not quite sure what's going on. Once he gets to the point where he's obviously got the speed, but once he gets to the point where he can be comfortable, then he'll unlock all that speed, and that's what I'm waiting to see with Fernandez.
Expecting something better than that 129.38 when he eventually finished with. Bezzecchi another faller at turn 3.
KTM
finds himself
killing
on the back
the
of
dirt.
the 3rd row of the grid.
They killed the car. They're killing
all weekend we
Supercross.
Like, maybe not victory pace, but Bezzecchi
Paco,
looking for that top 5.
Certainly, based on what we saw at the test as well.
That man is fast. That man is speed.
The Marquez brothers, who, as they are here, were the two riders.
He's going to be super exciting to watch in the future.
Over 2 days, a couple of weeks ago. And you imagine from an Aprilia point of view, without their world champion OMRT, you could have offered them 3 bikes on the front 3 rows. and one on the second row in the form of Ayagura, they would have certainly taken that. From a KTM point of view, it wasn't quite so smooth earlier on in qualifying. Only one KTM rider making his way through to Q2.
A lot of people on pit lane.
Pedro Acosta, who
VR46
coming into this qualifying day and coming into this weekend,
keeping Valentino's yellow alive
in time attack mode. That step wasn't necessarily visible in qualifying earlier on.
Well, we saw the KTM sign there, orange
Franco
blood.
Morbidelli,
About
number
to take
21.
first blood in 2025 of MotoGP. We're looking at Frankie Morbidelli, but talking about a pretty, of course, very unfortunate news to be missing the world champion at Hoy Marti. Marco Bezzecchi, though, with some pretty promising race potential, you feel, in the sprint upcoming 9th on the grid. I'm sure we can hear from Massimo Rivera as well about Onegura's stunning performance in 5th. Down to you, Jack.
Yeah, good afternoon to everybody. What a delight it is to be here ahead
I think
of
Back
the
Nine's got a new helmet design up top. It's pretty neat. I'm not sure if that's camo.
Massimo first, just to understand your emotions right now. 3 riders inside the top 9 places on the grids, but no world champion here, so it's a bit of
Fabio, the Yamahas. The Yamaha still, you can tell, man, it still requires such a smooth rider with such a high corner pace to it. But it looks like it's picked up some pace, and I'm really hoping that it's a little closer up front. I mean, I am with all the manufacturers. I definitely am with Honda too. But Yamaha, for sure. I've always been a little partial to Yamaha, so.
Let's see the start. I know the other did some improvement, but I think it's time to fight.
Oh yeah, Lewis Hamilton rode a Yamaha too. My man race cars and smash bikes. That's a rarity. Most riders can drive, but I don't think most drivers can ride. Like being Duolingo. Marquez is focused. Marquez is focused, and Bagnaia looks unsettled. Bagnaia doesn't look like a short champion. I know that face of confidence, and he doesn't have that. He's not wearing that mask right now. But I mean, an uncomfortable bike will do that to you. You know, like doing this stuff is so nuanced that you need to feel as comfortable as possible to get the best amount of performance out. So.
Both of those areas, do you think you've made improvements?
I think a small improvement is there.
God, it'd just be nice to, roll up off the bike after a race and give the bike to some people instead of putting the bike on the damn stands.
Thank you, Massimo. Good luck. Thank you.
We're going mediums.
Thanks very much, Jack. Thanks to Massimo Rivera, boss of Aprilia. Yet 13 laps are going to be tough. Imagine what it's like. Double the distance in just over 24 hours time in our opening Grand Prix of the season here in Borough. So, a bit further down, Pedro Costa Hendro 3 in 7th. Raul Fernandez, we mentioned 8th, Marco Bezzecchi 9th. This is Marc Marquez.
Just cruising
and what's
with
going to be his
Marquez.
slowest ever lap of Borough. Shots as he goes
looks,
into fuel saving.
He looks like he's designed to be on that bike.
That's what it's all about. Marc Marquez's biggest fan here, getting the help of a fan to keep himself cool in the grandstands. If you're wondering what this is all about, fresh to MotoGP, well, first of all, welcome. You're going to enjoy the roller coaster ride throughout the season, but this is all about making sure that you use as little fuel as possible on the sighting lap before they come to the grid. And we are, less than 15 minutes away from a slice of MotoGP history, because the rider you are looking at on screens right now is a Mitsubishi Honda LCR rider, Somkiat Chantra, on that 35
big
machine.
step up. He's done a really good
job.
job. Real good job. And he just made history. Stepped into history, just doing what he does. And he'll continue to make history, so that means he'll be the first high rider on the podium, and then potentially the first high rider with a win,
support here in front of his
History. You could just keep plugging at it. The Thai rider with the most wins, it'll be pretty incredible to see what his future holds. Look at Marquez, the face of focus. That man is focused. He is ready to race. It is not a joke with this guy. He's not messing around. Alex is holding killer pace.
turn 11. That is where the Somkiat Chantra grandstand is.
But I mean, it's obviously about time. Alex is a fifth-year senior at this point, you know, so he's already been showing glimpses of speed, but now it's time for him to kind of start enforcing that.
Such a racket for Somkiat Chantra, and he hasn't even gone racing yet. If he is anywhere near the points tomorrow, this place will explode. He has done a very solid job. He is in at the deep end in MotoGP, but Somkiat Chantra certainly doing himself proud to this point.
Yeah, you can hear the reception.
There's a lot of people. You can hear the crowd as ready to race.
These are moments that the riders don't get to experience. Everybody connected to the riders, teams, mechanics, assistants, parents, siblings, everybody does not escape.
I wonder if they have the pit limiters on.
When we come to the grid for the first time,
yeah, limit you about 15 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour
in Barcelona last November. And Marc Marquez, what a moment as he comes to the front of the grid. Looking resplendent, looking magnificent in the full Ducati blood red. And he'll be at the front of the grid to make his factory Ducati debut. Saw some comments in the winter testing that Ducati management was saying he's slotted into this new role like he's been inside that Bologna garage for 10 years. Crucially, his third different crew chief in 3 seasons. He has been able to form an instant rapport with Marco Rigamonti.
It looks like he was getting a hold of the Aprilia a little bit, you know, but it still looks like it's a little shaky. He still looks like he's not as confident, you know.
Ducati GP and Grand Prix.
We'll see how well he gets on.
Those two together, Lewis, have already formed a very close and what looks like formidable bond.
And Marco Rigamonti was the crew chief of the winner of the sprint here last year. Let's go down to the second row again. To Jack Miller, who joins Jack.
Jack, superb job this morning to put
he's
yourself on the front of the second row of the grid. What are the butterflies like ahead of the first race of the year? I feel good. I've done this a few times, but we'll see what we can do. We'll do it as we get this thing away to a decent start. And yeah,
I love how BMW is the pace car.
Are ripping, so we'll try and stick with them as long as possible. See how the tyres pan out. What do you think a good result would be for yourself today? It's hard to say a number. If we can get in the points in this one, we'll be happy. You know, first one of the year.
Mark, Alex,
we'll be swinging for the fences as long as we come out healthy and ready to go for tomorrow. It'll be good. All the best matches, mate.
Yeah, thanks very much, Jack. And Jack down there on a very,
let's see what happens with Mir. I want to see what happens with DJ Antonio. Keeping an eye on Bender. Obviously, I'm big time always keeping an eye on Zarco.
We mentioned the first 3 rows.
Oliveira, I'm hoping his adaptation is good. I'm a huge Rins fan, and Bastianini too. Where I love Rins' style. Rins definitely has something extra. I love what he brings. I'm hoping that his adaptation to the Yamaha, you know, it smoothens out, because it's just like, when you're fast on something, you're fast on something, you know, but, you know, if the adaptation is going to take longer, then the performance will also kind of denote that.
Since Mugello 2022 in 18th place, and Anea Bastianini also suffering on that transition to the factory KTM. He goes from 20th, his worst qualifying since the Thai Grand Prix here in 2023. So far, so good, hasn't it been for Marc Marquez? Both factory Ducatis on the front row of the grid. We can't wait for this first T-Swiss sprint of the season. How are the nerves over the top?
All the red Honda Somkiat shirts.
The strong favourites for this one, most notably Marc Marquez, who's had pretty much the perfect weekend so far. Davide, how's he feeling ahead of this one?
That connection down onto
feeling
the
good,
grid.
but we'll see. You know, as usual, the start will be very important, but in the end, also the choice of the front tire. There are somebody that have the soft, somebody with the hard, so we'll see who make the right choice. But anyway, it will suit also the riding style, the shoes of the.
Eddie Mitsu's got a new rider.
Anyway, in the end, the first race,
they got a new youngster stepping in. It was good to see Taka race though. And Taka's designs on his helmets were beautiful. He had one of the better designs. His helmet's like $1,500 still. I love one with $1,500.
When we talk about home crowd heroes,
goodness.
Well, he certainly fits the bill on that one. There you can see.
I mean, what type of helmets do you guys ride? What type of do you guys race? What type of helmets do you use to race with? Do you guys care about expense, or is it more just about the brand, the fit, the feel?
the Chantrip merchandise stalls as Marc Marquez walks to the
I got a bunch of showies. I always like showies just because they fit pretty good.
The end of 2023.
But and I always like the helmet lock that they had. They had helmet locks before anybody else. So I was kind of loyal to them and loyal to that little device that they've always had. They had some of the better styles back in the day too. So.
And ride at that time for the 4th ranked Ducati team at Gresini, an independent team. He wanted to enjoy racing again, he wanted to win again. Fair to say he did both in 2024. He finished 3rd in the World Championship. But as he said himself,
he already knew he got an uphill battle. He already know he's fighting for midfield, and he already knows that means it's gonna be a fight.
You have to deliver. There's no hiding place. You are paid for one thing only, to win races and win the World Championship.
And that is what he looks to.
It's got to be rough to know that you're getting ready to get into like a 21-man fight, and you don't have the biggest or the best weapon. You know.
Is his biggest threat today going to come from within his own family? Alex Marquez starts alongside in second. His Gresini team manager, Michele Messini's with Jack.
Michele, these conditions are brutal. I can feel the soles of my feet.
Yeah, you can definitely feel the heat. You can look at it and tell through the heat waves. So, I mean, tire temperature is probably going to be a little tricky.
The starter, the first 3 corner, and I think that just we have to enjoy our pace. I think that we have everything to put together and see the result.
The first corner is going to be crazy.
Yeah, thanks, Jack. Thanks
yeah, it's going to be crazy.
Gresini Racing boss. Only Alex Marquez's 6th.
It shouldn't be a Toprak thing though. That Toprak thing from last week was crazy. Fortunately, everybody ended up okay. Nobody got into a wreck, but Toprak, he went right through them guys. That was threading the needle.
How quickly he's gelled with that Ducati GP24 that. This could be the season, the breakthrough
looking
here
just too smooth.
For Alex Marquez.
He's too smooth. You can tell this kid. You can tell he's going to be a problem.
Last time those two.
This is going to be a problem like Paco.
His former Moto crew chief Norman Rank with the glasses on. Last time those two were together in Thailand, they were cracking open some World Championship winning Prosecco, because it was right here in Buram last October where Agura became Japan's first Grand Prix World Champion in 15 years. The first Asia Talent Cup product to come through and win a Grand Prix World Championship, and he has already signalled his intent to ruffle a few feathers in the Premier class in 2025. He goes from 5th on the grid. Jack's got an update on the Japanese star.
Yeah, I was standing by with Norman Rank over his shoulder, as you say, his former crew chief.
We'll see how Maverick Adaption goes. He's always been one of my favorite riders. He's a guy, you know, guy from the old school. He's one of the guys from when I guess. I started watching DP much earlier, but he was one of the guys after
learning experience.
Marquez kind of killed everybody that showed up and was the next best challenger for Marquez, and he was on the Yamaha. So at the time, I was also riding the R6, so I was super partial to Yamahas. So I was always keeping an eye on him. And then the whole thing with him and Yamaha was a disaster. That was super rough, but I knew that was kind of the beginning of the end of something happening with weird, especially with Yamaha. So
golden for I.
And the positive that Agura fans will be thinking about and getting excited about as well is that in his career up to now, Agura's speciality was not qualifying. He tended to do better over race distance. This is a new experience for him.
Agura definitely got a lot better. I mean, from all the classes, for him to be running in the front of MotoGP now, versus, you know, like, I didn't think that he was, you know, the strongest rider in Moto 3 and even a Moto 2. You know, I thought that he'd be, you know, stronger, you know, like Fernandez or somebody, you know, but you know, he has his strengths in other places, which is really neat. All these riders have different skills and bring their own different niches to this thing that it's hard to quantify sometimes.
Won the sprint and then the main Grand Prix, his first win in 1,043 days, a win that even himself he must have doubted was coming. Here we
Tire
go.
warmers back on real quick.
Front row start of 2025.
Keep them nice and warm, baby. We don't want no accidents on the front.
Bagnaia goes from 3rd place on the factory Ducati. Behind the two Marquez brothers, Alex Marquez starts in 2nd place, but on pole position, chasing a fairy tale factory Ducati debut is Marc Marquez here in Thailand.
MotoGP 2025. Berry Ram Circuit in Thailand. The start of a good long season, baby. I think they changed the theme music a little bit. It's close to the same, but it's still pretty low. I'm a fan of the synth theme music that they had a couple years ago. Like, was like 2019, 2020, 2021. They had like the electronic and the computer music. I was a huge fan of that. I think the bikes physically look the best now with the aero packages. They've refined them a lot more. I thought that the bikes have looked a disaster compared to what they used to look like. They're longer, they're wider, they protrude a little bit more, but they're kind of, you know, they're taming everything and they're reeling it back in better. So everything looks a little more streamlined and a little smoother. Before it was boxes on the back of stuff and hanging stuff or hanging off, it was crazy.
The first of 22 battles in 2025. This is what we have all been waiting for. The Winter Blues.
And Marquez still rock showy. He's with Insta now. With Monster now, rocking Monster.
From pole position. So far it has been the fairy tale debut weekend in the factory. The Ducati team
hitting it on the warm-up lap. Nicky Hayden would always say, I hit it hard on the warm-up lap. Gotta get some heat in them tires. Make sure that you're safe when you take off. So every time I jump on the bike when I'm on the track, I try to hit it on my first lap. I mean, I don't go crazy, but I put a little bit of gas into it. You know, I'm on my way.
13 laps is our first TSO sprint action of the season.
I'll be racing in the Washington Motorcycle Road Racing Association this year for 2025. Obviously, my number is IAM 951. That's my
last year
amateur number mixed with Lewis Hamilton's number and James Stewart's number. So it all turns into 951. Hamilton is 44 and James Stewart is 7. And I gotta get a Stewart poster. It's coming soon. Those are my guys.
He'll be aggressive, firing from row 3 in 7th place. Keep an eye on Marco Bezzecchi as well. A crash in Q2 this morning at turn 3. Dumped him on the back of the 3rd row in 9th. He's got good race pace. And also gets set for an unforgettable moment. What a day in the life of Somkhyat Chantra as he is about to create history and be the first Thai rider ever to race in MotoGP. Here we go then. How's the nerves at home? How are the nerves for
Thai rider at home. We've been watching the Thai GP for quite a while now. Now that we're back, but
73 versus
really good.
We're all set to go almost in 2025. The countdown almost complete. Butterflies will still be jangling.
Here we go, baby. 2025 is about to jump off.
Get the green flag waving at the back. The riders being held in at the front. Here we go then. We're about to go.
It's go time, baby.
2025. It's lights out and we're racing in the sprint.
And Marquez with a good start. Marquez with a good start. Back 9 with a good start. Marquez squeezing him out through the first turn. Alex on the inside of Bagnaia. Alex in front of Bagnaia. Agora's in 3rd.
He's already got half of the bike. Let's clear the chasing back into turn 3. And Bagnaia slipped back to 3rd.
And Bagnaia's 3rd. Agora's 4th. Morbidelli's 5th. Miller 6th. Fernandez 7th. No. Quartararo 7th, Binder 9th, Ralph Fernandez 9th. I'm sorry, Binder is 8th, Ralph Fernandez 9th, Paco is 10th, Zarco 11th, Marini 12th, Mir 13th, Aldeguer 14th, DG Antonio 15th, Aaron 16th, Bezecchi 19th, Bastianini 18th, Miguel Oliveira 20th, Chantra 21st, and Salvadori is 22nd.
Yeah, now this is what Alex Marquez and Pecco Bagnaia would have feared. Clear track in front of Marc Marquez.
Everybody's got space. And
if he can get to the front early, he has got the pace. He's got the
everybody's got space. Nobody is riding too crazy, as you were actually.
He's going to finish his first ever racing lap here.
Marquez is leading the track there.
Of the double world champion,
with Jack Miller just behind him, so they've swapped places off the line. Morbidelli next from Quartararo 7th, then a couple of KTMs. Wasn't a good first lap for Pedro Acosta. He's not the lead KTM. That's Brad Binder up from 14th to 8th.
Yeah, Binder's always aggressive, isn't he, on that very first lap? He's done so again. Into turn 3, then
and
the field.
Miller on the inside. Quartararo.
Across Super Moto style, almost charging into the back of Fabio Quartararo, who's been upwardly mobile in the first part of this sprint. Quartararo fired away in the factory.
As you were. Mark, Alex, Bagnaia, Agora, Miller, Morbidelli, Quartararo, Binder, Paco, Zarco, top 10. And
Nightmare Factory of Prunia Davy, then so
Morbidelli looks like he's trying to line up Iagora.
Top 5 pace all weekend. Ralph Fernandez has dropped out of the points. Well, he started 8th. He's back in 12th spot, so he's gone the wrong way.
Oop, now the 2 KTMs are behind the Yamaha, so they're behind Quartararo, and Alex Rins is in 21st, so it looks like Quartararo at the moment might be rolling around up front by himself.
Yeah, we're kind of relying at the moment on Alex Marquez trying to make a battle this, aren't we? At the front, on board with Acosta.
Oh!
Breaks into the tight first gear.
Who was that?
Down to that 75.
Morbidelli inside of Miller. That was a good pass.
Still raging between Morbidelli and Miller. This is for 5th place.
And
fastest rider. No great surprise.
Morbidelli was able to make that pass pretty easy, and he got space already, so now he's right behind Agura. And Binder's right in front of Paco, and you can look to tell that Paco is lining Binder up.
So far in the 129s, they've got a huge
and Paco ran a little wide. He was maybe thinking about keeping his speed into the entrance of the turn with Binder, but he kind of pulled out and ran a little wide, gave Binder some space. Yeah, he was pretty close to Binder. I think Binder might have been slowing him up just a tiny bit. And Marquez is out in front.
You can see the difference between Mark and Alex Marquez. Nothing really near at all, was there? Just half a tenth. But just look how quickly here.
Smooth. He's just managing the race already. He looks like a race manager from the first lap. He looked like he's just been simply managing the race. Doesn't look like anybody's pushing, but you know, they're just burning off some fuel at the moment, I would assume. Paco on Binder's coming up. Paco's gonna line Binder up on this lap. And here goes Paco on Binder right now. Oh, no, Binder closed the door. And then Paco ran, Binder ran wide. Paco got up on the inside. And now Paco's behind Binder. And he settled in. He settled in after Binder.
This time around. Marquez versus Marquez at the front. They've just dropped back into the 130s. Pecco Bagnaia.
As you were, Marquez, Bagnaia, Agura, Morbidelli, Miller, Quartararo, Binder, Paco, Zarco, Mir, Fernandez, DG Antonio, Bezecchi, Aldeguer, Luca Marini. And here goes Paco on the inside. Paco on the inside of Binder. Done. With space, with space. So the position's pretty much protected. Simple move. It's done. On to the next for Paco.
Marquez strong in the first 2 sectors on this lap 4 of 13.
Now Paco will be looking towards Quartararo because he's on the slower machine, so he'll be trying to get a hold of him. But he's got a little bit of a gap. But with 10 laps left, I mean, if Quartararo doesn't make any mistakes.
Second sprint success. The advantage, yeah, still just over 7/10 of a second.
Still Marquez, Bagnaia, Agora, Morbidelli, Miller, Quartararo, Paco, Binder, Zarco.
He's so good, isn't he? Charging in on that factory, brilliant. He is not shy, is he? He's not lacking confidence.
9 laps, as you were.
Personal best for Pecco Bagnaia though last time around, 1:30.189. He's now on the pace of the 2 Marquez brothers up ahead of him. The horse might well have bolted though. He's the thick end of 2 seconds. His teammate.
There's a gap between Alex Marquez and Bagnaia, almost a second and a half.
Choice because Iagura, he's being pressured into a 1:30.1 because he's seeing on his pit board plus 0.79, which I don't think he would have expected.
Morbidelli is behind Agora, and Morbidelli looks a little menacing. But again, Marquez's choreography is absolutely perfect, and he hasn't put the foot wrong. So I mean, at the moment, if you're gonna go ahead and call it what it is already, we're going 1, 2, 3. Oh, Bezzecchi got a bad start, and that's what.
Who did a really good job of avoiding him, wasn't he? That was a nightmare start for Marquez.
And I think a Honda got around Bezzecchi. That might have been Marini, but Bezzecchi had a pretty crazy start.
He wants to surrender 10 places through the first split.
It's good. It's good. Everybody was safe.
He is putting together a pretty decent recovery mission at the moment. As you can see, he's now up to 13th place.
We're watching him here now on screen. He's ahead now of Fabio Di Gianantonio. His next rider up ahead is
and Di Gianantonio is looking to. He's looking to try to size up Bezzecchi. So we'll see what happens here.
Oh. But his last lap was a 1:30.2. He's as quick as the leaders in clear air, Bezzecchi.
Iagura, he has responded. He's retaliating here, going toe-to-toe with Bagnaia. 1:30.2.
You can see the rear squatting device coming around the corner. You get to see Agora use it, and the bike just squatting when he comes around the corner, so it keeps it from wheeling. And they're missiles when they're on straights for doing that.
You really do have to doff your cap and say chapeau, don't you, to Iagura. This is just...
Iagura's rolling with the big dogs, and he's doing a killer job. But you can look at him and instantly tell he's simply mirroring Bagnaia. He's doing what Bagnaia is doing. Strangely, with the different bike, he's able to kind of manipulate the bike almost as well as Bagnaia. Brivio.
He does not
Davide Brivio, the Suzuki man, now at Trackhouse.
Nothing like a MotoGP novice at all, does he? Showing the class that we know he has got. Bagnaia just... Well, I'm sure you'll hear Agura's pretty behind him. Just knows that he is right on his case at the front.
8 laps left, as you were. Marc Marquez, Alex Marquez, Francesco Bagnaia, Iagura, Franco Morbidelli, Jack Miller, Quartararo, Paco, Binder, Johan Zarco. So, I mean, Ducati, Aprilia, Ducati, Yamaha, KTM, and there's a Honda HRC to round up the top 10.
Yeah, 30.1 for Marc Marquez, 30.2 for Alex Marquez. You can see the line gap on the left-hand side of your screen. It has now just edged over 1 second.
Picking up speed. Now they're going. Now they're going fast.
He's matching Alex Marquez, but he's got more problems by the 79 behind him.
Get 58 degrees of leaning
on the brakes into turn 3. 2 laps in a row. Agura has been slightly faster. The Pecco Bagnaia, the most successful Ducati rider.
Yeah, there's a small gap between Alex Marquez, Bagnaia, and then
setting his stall out, showing or giving his rivals a taste of what might be to come in the future.
Agora's sticking on the Bagnaia.
At turn 5, this is where Bagnaia had all his problems with Frankie Morbidelli at the end of yesterday's practice session.
There's a little bit of a gap between the two, but I mean, he's on him. And Marc Marquez and A. Marquez are just up the road with 7 laps left. Oh, and Thriller hit the deck.
fifth place. Unfortunately, a great
Lap
today.
7. Hope that doesn't catch on fire. Hope that don't catch.
Not the way that Miller was hoping to kick off
Oh,
the season.
it looks like he lost the front end.
Just tucking the front on the way in there. A couple of barrel rolls through the gravel trap. Back at the front. Marc Marquez leads by just over 1.2 seconds against his brother Alex. Over the line in
Marcus just managing the gap.
between Bagnaia and Agura.
Oh, Miller caused a yellow flag, but they got him up. They got him up and going, so he doesn't look like he's going to be any issue.
Nothing at all between
The bikes are definitely getting light now. So now they're sliding the bikes into the turn now.
Both of them were quicker than Alex Marquez in the end, but only by a tenth and a half. Alex Marquez is better in the second half of the lap for sure than he is in the first half of it. But
They're completely aerodynamic.
We're only at half sprint distance, of course, in this.
Staying on that bike, baby.
13 laps of this sprint. We have 6 of them to go. Alex Marquez can't rest on that.
The Iagora dropping that anchor down. Just he's got Bagnaia's playbook, and the thing is he's manipulating that Aprilia like that Ducati, and strangely, you know, you would think that Bezzecchi would instantly be able to kind of do the same thing, but
Agura is hanging in there. Quattarara's got his hands full.
Oh, and then Paco just bumped through, made his way through on a Quattararo, so Acosta just made it through on Quattararo. I dig Paco's got his number back too. It's pretty cool to see him to be number 37. But it was kind of neat because I'm 951 and Paco's 51, so I was kind of like, yeah.
Himself at the start as he had to dodge around his slow starting Bezzecchi. So Joan Mir's done a good job there to get himself back into the points. Second lap in a row that Alex Marquez has lost time to the group.
5 laps left. Marquez, Bagnaia, Agura, Morbidelli, Paco, Quattararo, Bender, Mir, and Zarco, top 10. DG Antonio looks like he's got a warning.
This is a very, very rare sight as far as number 36 is concerned. In 34 previous sprints, he has
DG Antonio looks a little
at the moment though, on course for the final point scoring place.
DG Antonio's got a little something extra, so you would think that he would be up front with the other guys, but he's injured, you know, so looks like that's playing a huge part on his performance at the moment.
So we happened to Marco Bezzecchi there. He suddenly dropped back a few more places. He's back down to 15.
And then Fernandez behind DG Antonio. DG Antonio just passed Zarco, but then he ran wide, and he was able to get right back into place in front of Fernandez. But Zarco was able to recapture his position.
With Binder, who's over half a second further up the road in
and
place.
Mir's right in the front.
Oh,
and then DG Antonio right in on Zarco again, and he was able to hold the position. Pretty smooth, you know. Oh, and then DG Antonio made a mistake.
Antonio has trouble through the fast turn 12, and all the hard work he's done on this lap has been undone.
DG Antonio made a mistake, and then Zarco and Fernandez went right back through.
Through that rapid turn 11, that was a big scare for Gian Antonio. Comes over the line now. He's dropped back down.
Sometimes when you're trying to get back in a rhythm, you have a little oops, and then that little oops puts you off rhythm, and then you lose all that. Oop, and there goes Alligator, almost lost the front end.
At the moment, having just taken Marco Bezzecchi.
He said that was a pretty good little save. I double check that again. Marquez it's a track day. This is nothing. He's flowing. He's gone. He ain't making no mistakes. He's not doing nothing.
To go, and the fairy tale well and truly on course, isn't it, for Marquez?
He is already at the very end of the race. him and Alex have checked out. They're gone.
The pole and sprint Saturday.
They're managing the race so well that it doesn't look like it looks like they can do this all day.
To make sure he wins this sprint, he's got such a good.
Nobody's in a hurry. Nobody's being
he's just keeping that
forced. Everybody's riding smooth and easy and simply managing the race.
Just keeping Pecco Bagnaia at arm's length. It looks as if that dream of a maiden podium, sprint podium on
as you were, baby.
Is fading now. He's back in the
Marquez, Bagnaia, Agura, Morbidelli, Paco, Quattararo, Bender, Mir, Zarco.
By a mile, Agura was going to be right of the day. Fifth on the grid. Fourth in the sprint potentially.
1.3 second gap between A. Marquez and Alex Marquez.
At the moment, it looks like Papa Marquez is going to be enjoying his opener to 2025.
The two of them. This will be the second time that they both podium.
That sort of gaps hovering
So they podiumed last year, and then the two of them as brothers podiumed again this year. So then they've also now created another record by probably both jumping on the podium at the same time again. So that's two in history in the last 2 years. And then the Stewart brothers just did it too, which is pretty cool. James and Bubba.
Weekend on the sofa, as we mentioned before, speedy recovery. Jorge, MotoGP misses you. MotoGP is not quite the same without its world champion, not quite the same without its #1.
Nah, we gotta get Martin back, man. Martin is a heat. I'm super bugged out what's kind of happened to him.
Top 5 riders now are the
almost
only 5
feeling
still in
away.
the 130s, which just again emphasises the job that
It's a little rough.
here on screen
It's a little rough for Martin.
doing 130.9s.
He is speed. That's the fastest man in MotoGP. And for him and Marquez to have been on bikes together would have been, that would have been the show. Oh, and DJ Antonio, he was injured. He must be hurt. He must have re-injured himself.
Had a bit of a torrid time, hasn't he, through injury hit winter campaign. This is a mechanical.
Something happened between him and Aldeguer, or Aldeguer just ran wide and DJ Antonio just pulled off.
That's a tough one to take. Having done all the hard work, 18 days out of collarbone surgery after his crash.
Like Lorenzo, it's rough when you're riding injured, you know. These things, they require you to be in top fitness, and you go out there trying to ride one of these hurt, you may re-injure yourself.
Is Ayagura on the Gulf Aprilia. There's been no golfing class, has there, between Agura and the rest of his rivals in MotoGP.
2 laps to go. Marc Marquez, Alex Marquez, Bagnaia, Agura, Morbidelli, Paco, Quartararo, Binder, Miller, Zarco. Top 10.
Which have run Bagnaia so close for as long as he did.
Bez, number 12, Ralph Fernandez. Ralph Fernandez, 11.
Ralph Fernandez is in 11th place. He's 12 seconds behind Ayagura, and this is only a 13-lap sprint. I think that says enough.
And Fernandez has been on the Trackhouse bikes for a season, 2 seasons now. So Fernandez should be up front. He should be in the girl spot for sure. It should definitely be a swap situation right now.
The supporting role here so far throughout this opening weekend.
With 2 laps to go.
Into the final corner,
as you were with the same top 10. Fernandez 11th, Bezzecchi 12th, Aldeguer 13th, Luca Marini, Maverick 15th, Miguel Oliveira with a warning 16th, Aaron 17th, Bastianini 18th, Chantra 19th, also with the warning Salvadori and Miller out.
Last year, and you have to say,
DJ Antonio out.
Walk in the park from the get-go.
Last lap,
no more,
as
no
you
less
were.
Than that. He got the early high ground, got the lead into turn number 1, pulled out that lead at around a second after 2 or 3 laps, and he's just managed it from there. Alex Marquez likewise has had Pecco Bagnaia firmly under control for 2nd place. It is going to be a Ducati lockout of the podium, but as mentioned before the sprint began,
I told everybody Marquez is going to kill everybody. I've been told everybody. I told everybody on MotoGP.com. I said Marquez 2025. All the ingredients are there, man. Bagnaia's, I don't know, man, and I'm a Bagnaia fan, man, but it's about that time. He's had the championship for 2 years. He looks exhausted. He's been through a lot of pressure. He's been fighting a lot of people off. I think he mentally, he not out to sea, but he on a small break. He's on an instability break. He just can't get right now, but we'll see. We got, we'll see. Hopefully he can pull together for the next race. Look at him, he looked back, look, see if Alex is back there. He's like, is the brother back there? Done. Beautiful. As you want. As you were, Marquez, Bagnaia, Agura, Morbidelli, Paco, Quartararo, Binder, Mir, Zarco, Fernandez, Bezzecchi, Aldeguer, Vinales, Marini, Oliveira, Rins, Bastianini, Chantra, Salvadori, Miller. Out. At least, yeah. DJ Antonio out.
Surely contender for ride of the sprint, Ayagura. unbelievable performance by the rookie to take 4th place. Not even a second he took the checker flag. Frankie Morbidelli fights home in 5th place.
Morbidelli pulled up in, yeah, look at Mark, good job. The Ducatis, man, they are the benchmark. It's another season of, as Toprak would call it, the Ducati Cup. But I mean, you know, it still needs to be able to see the fastest dudes be able to battle. You know, they all have their minor differences per se.
When he topped the test here
what can you do?
A couple of weeks
they
ago.
spent a long time not being at the top, so they're definitely going to enjoy being at the top now.
Chief Marco Rigamonti. What a ride, Jack.
Marco, what a ride indeed. Fantastic. Debut win for Marco. Debut win as his crew chief as well. How does that feel?
Yeah, I know. He's good.
Right on. That's it for the sprint race for the Thai GP at Birmingham. A couple hours here, we'll be waiting for the actual full race, which will be super neat to see. So we'll check back in after that, and we'll kind of go from there. Otherwise, we'll catch you later.